one of the risks that happens is if you hire somebody very senior, they want to conduct. They don't want to do and they don't want to build. And like, you don't need it. There's need to be the first salesperson until product market fit is found. And so there's some non-technical things that I think apply. But generally on the technical side is like, where are you going to get the most bang for your buck in terms of building your product and moving things forward quickly or at a better quality by bringing in another. So the first is really like, it is your, I'm a little biased, but it's your most important job as a founder that's coming in. The first is in this technical interview. So if you are a technical founder, I would actually encourage you to do some sort of technical.
In order to change the world through storytelling. As a filmmaker for over 9 years, that's been the hardest challenge we faced. It doesn't matter what tools you have, everyone has a phone in their pocket. Everyone has AI generated
models on the technology or the hardware that you have access to. So like, a lot of us are like, kind of vested in like, doing research on things like, LoRa, PEFT, and all these like more efficient ways of fine-tuning models that you can do that on a small laptop, like, be able to like train these big models.
Across the board, both in terms of public sector use and deployment, but also in terms of research and development investment, and also in sort of industrial proliferation.
Neptune AI. AnyScale is our third speaking slot. So
super excited to be here today. I'll be talking about some work we're doing in the lab around ML monitoring and data validation. This work really started off as a collaboration with Meta, and it's grown to kind of working with other companies and other people. Without further ado, let's get started.
Example, Vanta provides SOC compliance in a box to startups. And so their market is actually startups. They work with other startups, provide them SOC compliance in a very easy way. So you can then start serving the enterprise. And they've done extremely well. They've raised a follow-up round from Sequoia. They're probably going to be a large IPO. They are now going up market to enterprise, but they did it in a so that's one. Second, we look at the market and the problem. Is this a problem that is a big problem that is going to lead to a large company? And then, yes, on the technical front, we do a very deep evaluation. We will often look at your architecture in detail and look for what is differentiated. Have you built the moat? If you haven't, are you open to it? And we'll often have like a design discussion about, would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? What do you think? So I think it's an iterative process, interactive process of evaluation.
Millions of people go on YouTube and online to watch videos, to learn new activities and skills. But the videos that they're watching are generic. They're not tailored for individual needs and users. We're building Octozi, which is a platform that enables video content to be interactive and personalized for the needs of each individual user. We do this by using information about you, along with the camera and microphone of your device, laptop or smartphone, in order for you to get real-time feedback.
The statistic that still startles me today. 20 million children every single year will never reach their fullest developmental potential, not because of malnourishment or health risks, but simply because of the poor ways in which we parent. We use data for everything, but not for the hardest job on earth, which is parenting. This is exactly why we built Tilly. Tilly progressively builds and measures the 8 most essential cognitive skills right before a child celebrates their 10th birthday.
And we're building Lumi. So every day I kind of feel like I'm waking up with a very long list of emails, deadlines that I didn't even know existed in my calendar. And overall, the work I signed up for is hidden behind.
You can define parts of, for example, that Chrome extension specifically, and it'll generate all the necessary files to run that and to test that out. So to answer the question, for some use cases, I think for generating
coding,
language models. You're all probably very familiar with autoregressive language models. These are the kinds of language models whose sole job, at least in their pure form, is to predict the next token that it thinks you want it to say, given a series with or without any fine-tuning. And this is often where you see examples like semantic search or some kind of retrieval problem. This is a way of using an LLM, open source or closed source, frankly, to extract that machine-readable.
You're going to be paying out anywhere 2, 3, 4, 5,000 a month, and so really look at it from that perspective and what ROI can you generate from the short term as quickly as possible. I think it can be a little bit daunting when you think about like, oh, we have to pay 100,000. It's not all coming out one time. It's going to come out over time, and if they're not proving themselves, then you're not committing to that, right? So I think about that too.
Models in the long run, but there's been a moderation of that pace, as I think we've all put a lot more focus on like data annotation and careful curation of the data sets that go into
these meetups is chatting with folks and hearing what's working and what's not working, and I think everyone's kind of in this awesome energy of trying to build things where there's this awesome new technology that no one 100% really knows what to do or how to work with it, and we're just kind of figuring it out as we're going along.
My research today, I left the hard question for you. It's very funny because I was reading this book called like Profiles of the Future by Arthur Clarke. It was an old book that was trying to reason about the future, what it could look like. So it's not about a book about predicting the future, but it's more about it looking backward. It's like, okay, if for the technology actually happens, what will need to be true for that to happen? And if it does, how it would influence society. And he also has a caution, it's like no one should ever try to predict the future, especially publicly, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fall out myself. So I think it's like for me when I look at things, I would have certain kind of like litmus tests, like I feel like, okay, does it seem hacky to me? Like if something is a seem like just self-fundamental.
Teams are autonomous, they can write their own pipelines, productionize them, and execute them at scale in the cloud without having to ask help from infrastructure engineers, okay? So we are Symantec, we're open source, so give us a start on GitHub, and if you need to...
I'm Tony, I'm the co-founder of Nullify. And we built a security bot for your code base. I think this stuff is very technical, so I'm just going to show you what we do.
We are Team AI. We are AI-powered pricing We're AI-powered data and image into your revenue. First, we connect all public data, including images, listings, events that's happening, supply and demand.
My company, Amelino, is making personalized agents for your life based on customization data from Gmail. Now, what does all of that mean? If you think about it, all of
So we're able to generate like 3 satellites.
Whoa, that's super cool. So you're basically learning from people that are doing how to do it at their level. That's so good. This is crazy. This is crazy. Do you come to these events often?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know if the business models are that different because I only do enterprise.
Ones who connected me to other people. My first angel investor and how we got the early investors of Oculus was because the founder was invested by them and they were like, yeah, you're the perfect fit.
Or not, are they actually investing or not? What's the dynamics inside the fund? You know, like you've been talking to this partner, but actually this guy, you know, like making all the decisions. You know, like they're gonna always jump, and it almost like it's impossible almost to find a person like a founder who will reject helping other founder.
On that note, also one thing that has really helped me is coaching. So if you have the
100%.
Yeah. If you have the means, if you have the ability to get a coach, I highly recommend it. I think with coaching.